The Naked DJs podcast. Are they really naked? We know they expose themselves every day just so they can bring you the best of music. They like to stick it out there for everyone to hear. You can hear their podcast on Anchor.fm, YouTube, and any of your favorite podcast platforms. Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Welcome to the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast, a show where I interview guests that teach, motivate, and inspire. Today, I am joined by Los Angeles-based music artist Gabe Furtado. Gabe is going to be talking about the release of his new EP titled Flowers, which is inspired by uniqueness and duality. Gabe's self-love, growth, and his inspiration of being drawn to being authentic to oneself is one of the things that inspired him to produce this new EP. So we're going to be talking to him about how we got started and what the EP is all about. So Gabe, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I'm excited about it.
Well, why don't you start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I literally just turned 25 like last week on the 7th, which is really exciting for me because it's my favorite number, like the 7. So 2 + 5 = 7. You can see that by the start. I'm a little crazy, so I'm all over the place, like all the time. So try to keep up, please. And if not, just ask and I'll come back to reality. So this is me. I am basically a human being right now that is trying to enjoy the most of his life, because it's hard, right? It's hard for everyone. It's like we all have our ups and downs and everything in between, and pandemic, world disasters, and we lose people that we love. Anyways, so what I'm trying to do with my life right now is just to be me, just to be me and live a beautiful life. Trying to cheer people up with my music, with my presence, and with my content in general. So I'm only someone who loves love and who loves life. I think that's the basic about myself. If that made any sense.
Yeah, it made perfect sense. I definitely get where you're coming from. Are you originally from Los Angeles or?
So I'm kinda, I was born in Brazil, but I was like reborn here in LA. So I'm like half and half. I'm Brazilian born with Angelino soul.
Well, I could just kind of tell by the accent that you might be maybe from another country.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your music and how you got started.
So I've always been like obsessed with like music in general ever since I was a little kid. But growing up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be an actor. So because I love acting. That's one of my passions. But when I was studying to become an actor, I was like, okay, let me be like this complete kind of artist. So let me start and study like music as well. So I started like doing my singing lessons, and it would be like a weekly thing. And then like it out of like nowhere, I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with being a singer. So I was like, okay, bye acting, career, hello music. I always knew that I wanted to do this as like my career, like my profession, like my professional life, my everything, like my work, my not 9 to 5, because it's not really a 9 to 5 kind of job, but like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like that was like the point for my life that I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna focus on. So I was studying and I was like releasing covers and like doing kind of good, you know, like on the internet stuff. And out of nowhere, I lose my dad. It was like sudden and unexpected. And that's when it hit me. I was like, okay, life is really too short for me not to pursue it, for me not to give it like a real shot. So I released my first professional EP called Just Feelings, which is consistent with like 3 covers from like Lady Gaga to Coldplay and Elvis. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm focusing on now. And because of my dad's passing, I got really inspired to start. And I was like, what a better way to start. But if not talking about his passing, because that's what inspired me to really kick things off. So my first single, my first original single is called Last Goodbye, which is about this experience that I had with my dad's passing. And I am starting from there. I am like, this is my life now. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm doing. And that's what I've been doing since then. So I got Let's Goodbye out, then the music video, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do an album, and then I did it. It's called Life. And last year I was like, okay, so this is the real deal now for me because I'm ready to become the pop star that I know that I've always been. And then I was like, okay, I'm going full pop. So I started working on Flowers, which was since the day that I wrote it, my favorite song in the universe. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna release some more music with it. And now I decided to do a full album. So I have it done. And it's also called Flowers. And it's the most magical and iconic music that I've ever like heard in the universe. So I'm really, really, I know it's like, oh wow, what is it doing? Like, is it crazy to say stuff like that? But like, it's for me. It's like my work. It's like my baby. It's really, I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy because this music healed me. It was the process of healing, of like redoing my life, reconstructing myself, and becoming the person that I've always wanted to become, becoming the artist that I've always wanted to become. This is a little, just a little, the tiny tip of the iceberg about my music.
So if somebody asked you to describe what kind of music you do, what would you tell them? Would you tell them pop, or would you just tell us how you would describe your music?
With Flowers now, I'm really like my pop artist persona, acting out and having fun. But before Flowers, I was more of like a singer-songwriter, kind of like alternative even, because Life, the entire album is really unique in particular. It's not really comparable to like other styles even. So I play with like a little hip hop beat with one song, but the other one is like a ballad. It's stripped down, just the piano and my voice. Some others are just like really fun and playful. So let's say the 2020 Gabe was like alternative. The 2022 Gabe is totally pop. So like Flowers is like a pop vibe, kind of happy and fun and mystical at the same time.
So tell us, who are some of your inspirations, who inspires you to do what you do?
Oh my gosh. I think I'm like one of the biggest Selena Gomez's fan, like in the entire universe. I just love her so much. She's really just like a positive energy, living her life with so many like messed up things that happened to her. And she's still smiling and like teaching us by the way that she lives life that it's okay for you to be kind and for you to be loving. Even when people are like throwing rocks at you, you can still smile and just like wish them well. So I think she's like my biggest inspiration ever, even music wise. But music wise, I would say I love Mika. I love Ariana Grande, Lil Nas X, Troye Sivan, Sam Smith, Adele. I love all of them. I'm like inspired by so many different artists. They're so just iconic. So I'm not really trying to follow no one's lane. I'm just trying to create my own. But I'm definitely inspired by all of them.
Well, it says in your bio that you also love to travel. So tell us about your favorite travel destination.
Oh my gosh, last year I got the opportunity to visit one of the most, if not the most, magical places like on earth, which is Hawaii. I was I went to the big island, Oahu, and it was just me and two other friends, but it was just so much more than I was expecting. I was like the sand, the air, the breeze, the people, everything about Hawaii was just so kind of like from other dimension, let's say it like that. It was just so magical. It was just so inspiring. It was really like I was living in a dream, but like completely awake. It was really, really, I mean, I want to go back as soon as I can. So that's how much I loved it. I love it so much.
This next question is a two-part question. The first part of the question is, how does culture influence your music? And the second part is, do you consider your music a movement?
Oh, wow. I love exploring and learning about different cultures, but what I love the most is the human being kind of culture, which is like the one culture that everyone is involved in, that everyone is a part of, which is just us being humans. So we're all here just exploring life. We're not really certain about anything, and we think we know stuff, but deep down we never do. And that's what I love about life. It's just we're not just stepping into the unknown each and every day. We're just living in the unknown. I try to get all these different parts of living and include it into my music, even if it's just a deep breath that I take between takes, or the lyrics that I will write, or the sounds that I try to capture and include on a track. It's just because of this, because of me being from two different places, which is Brazil and LA, I embrace the differences that we all have in our own uniquenesses. And it's still, I love the common things that everyone has, which is like we all love, we all hate, we all have fun, we all cry. So this album, this music, even from my past album, it's all about our experiences. It's specifically mine because that's the body that I'm living in right now. But I am with Flowers, the album, the song, I am singing about me experiencing my life through my lenses. But when I go back to the lyrics or a melody, I'm like, I cannot believe I did that. It's like there's so many details, there's so many different kind of interpretations that we can get from my songs that I'm like not even aware of. So I'm like, it's definitely like the movement of like loving yourself and embracing your craziness of living. It's like me, I'm all about you do you, you be you for you. Because I guess when we were happy, then we can make people around us happy too, in a way. So it's like if your energy is really up and rising, everything around you will also go in that direction. It's yeah, it's I'll be telling you, hey, I'm not perfect. I am just myself. And I hope you know that you're not perfect either. And I hoping that you're trying to be yourself, because everybody else is, I know this is super cliche, but it's like, but everybody else is taken already. So it's like just be you, you know, whatever that means, whoever that means, just be yourself. Cause then you're like halfway there already, you know. It's that's my main message for this album. Like, be you, do you, love yourself, you're so enough, and explore life, have fun.
What do you see yourself in 5 years with all the things that you're doing right now and the movement and the brand that you're trying to create?
Honestly, I am so shocked by how life is changing constantly that I don't know where I'm gonna be. But I hope that wherever I'm at, I am happy, I am me, I am healthy, and I have more than enough money to take care of me and like my family, friends, and everyone around me. I really hope I get to inspire people. I hope to, even if it's like one life, I hope that I show them that it's more than okay, that it's more than enough for them to be themselves, for them to be who they really are, and that it's okay. You know, you're never going to be perfect. So I hope that if people are getting something from me, that this thing is be yourself, you're enough. And let's see how things go. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I hope I have lots of money. That's one of the things that I'm gonna tell you, and I hope I'm married too, because I like that. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I really don't know.
Talk about how you use fashion for self-expression.
Oh my gosh, I just love it so much. Since I was a kid, I would always be extra picky about like I would wear because I think that was one of the little things that I was that allowed me to like to completely express myself without having someone shutting me. Like I grew in a really traditional kind of conservative family style situation going on, so I was always the outcast. I was like the one that didn't really belong, and that was not easy. So like through my clothes was a way of me to cope with it. So I was always creating and reinventing myself, my style. I would like wear, even if it was like a basic small little detail, but I knew it was there. If it was like a belt or a different shoes, like something small, like of a ring on my finger, I would like try to always state who I was somehow. So it's like growing up like that, I will wear whatever I want to, basically. Half of my wardrobe's like from the female section, basically, because it's like I don't care. I feel comfortable wearing that shirt or wearing those pants. I'm gonna wear them, like those boots, those high heels. I'm like, I think fashion is like more than brands. It's more about your personal style and how you see yourself and how you want people to see you. Because yes, you're dressing for yourself first, always, but eventually people will see you. So it's like about you and about how you want people to see you and understand who you are and what you like or what you're feeling. And I think that's just so powerful. Like we can use way more things to tell what you're trying to tell to people, like not just words, but like through your clothes too. So that's what I do. I'm like, even right now, you're not seeing me, I'm not seeing you, but like I decided to wear my one of my favorite shirts with like a lot of like a lot of flowers and this pair of jeans that I just feel like really comfortable with, which is part of like the music video that I did for flowers. So yeah, I just like dressing up for myself. It's like one of the ways that I find fun in living, because it's like I stay at home basically 24/7. I just go out for when it's necessary because of like COVID and stuff. So I'm really taking care of myself, and I still have fun dressing up, even if it's just for me, you know? So that's how I see fashion. I see as like expression and you having more fun with your clothes.
Well, when I bring musicians on this show, I let them do a little acapella section so listeners can hear what their voice sound like. So why don't you hook us up with a little bit of that, one of your favorite songs, so we can hear what you sound like?
Okay, that was so I was not prepared for that. So I'm gonna drink a little bit of water because I just been talking. But yeah, let's see what comes out. Are you ready?
Am ready as I will ever be.
Okay, so a little bit of flowers. I decided to buy myself some flowers yesterday. Oh, to make up for all the things I wanna say. I wanna say a lot of things. I know I'm fragile. I'm also the strongest person I know. And I know that everybody around me knows it too. Well, it's the truth. I love my flowers, black and white. Black and white. I love my flowers when it's all right or not. That was a little bit of flowers. I can go on and on.
No, you're good. You're good. Really enjoyed that, and I'm sure the listeners will as well.
Thank you so
Well,
much. I was really nervous about that, by the way, just so you know.
oh, no, no problem. Is there anything that you got upcoming besides your new EP that you're working on that listeners need to know about?
So I do have I was for this era because I was like, I get more and more inspired about like life and this craziness of all like this changes that's going on. So I was like, well, I don't know about my future, but I know about my present and what I can do right now. So I was like, okay, I am releasing my dream album ever with flowers. And I am releasing my favorite song in the universe, which is also flowers. And I was like, I love lyric videos. So I have this little team doing the most beautiful and delicate and special and like really magical lyric videos for like every song like on the album. So I will tell you that I have a lyric video for Flowers, the song, and soon I have a new single coming out. But that's all I can tell you right now, at least, as in today. So I'm really excited about all of this. They're really cute.
Understood. Give us your contact information, website, social media. That way people can stay in touch with you and keep checking out your music.
Oh yes. So my social media is all Gabe Furtado, which is GABEFURTADO. Instagram is Gabe.Furtado. Twitter, Gabe_Furtado. I don't really use Facebook, but I'm there. It's official Gabe Furtado. TikTok, Gabe Furtado. My website is also gabefurtado.com. And yeah, I think the easiest way to find me is Instagram because I'm more active there. So, but like, I appreciate all the messages from like any kind of social media because I read all of them and I try to respond to them all. So yeah, everything is welcome and I'm happy to share my life with everyone and you. So yeah, let's be together.
Well, give us some final thoughts to close it out.
Yeah, I told you before and I'm gonna tell you again because I think it's never enough. Always just do you for you and be yourself because that's what you really can do in this life. Even though sometimes we don't understand and go with your gut, like follow your instincts, follow your dreams. Because if you have it in your mind, you will have it like in your life. So yeah, I didn't know how I was gonna do the second album. I didn't know how I was gonna who was like the producer that I was gonna choose for it. I didn't know anything. But when I decided to do it, when I decided to follow really like my heart and like my dreams, everything just came into place and everything's turning out way in a way better way than I thought it would be. So I am really happy that I decided to be me, to do for me, because that's all that we can do. So when you do for yourself, you do for others because you will be way happier. And if you're happier, you will like definitely rise everyone around's vibration to the highest place, which is love. So yeah, be yourself and everything else will follow. I promise you that.
Ladies and gentlemen, GabeFurtado.com. What I would like you to do for me is
Mhm.
please follow, rate, review, and share this episode to as many people as possible so we can support Gabe's music. And Android listeners, go to the Google Play Store and download the Living the Dream with Curveball podcast app. Gabe, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you so much. You're really calming, and I just enjoyed a lot this conversation. So thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Love to all, and be happy, be yourself.
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.